Brass heard you rehearsing, and you've been invited to sing at the Festival of Remembrance.
What? The big one on TV.
This is going to be a disaster.
This is a professional event. We cannot embarrass ourselves.
What are you doing?
Checking my heart rate.
Okay. Well, you look like you're choking yourself.
There are going to be so many people like us with loved ones at risk. And I want to do this for them.
If you're lost,
I know it feels a bit much, but if we can survive the last 5 months, we can survive 5 minutes out there.
Maybe this choir isn't about singing for ourselves. It's about being heard.
Kristen, Sharon, Jeff in Las Vegas, good morning.
Hello.
Thank you so much for talking to me today.
It's a pleasure.
Well, let's talk about Military Wives, a group of wives form a choir while their partners are serving in Afghanistan. And the two of you are not exactly fans of each other. Your styles clash and arguments get vicious.
They do. They do. They get very, very vicious. And we had great fun creating that sort of that fizziness between us. We enjoyed that a lot, didn't we?
we did. We loved it. Not so much the awful fight.
The mudslinging, yeah.
That was like slightly less fun, but the sort of initial scenes where we clearly can't stand each other and we're just trying to work out this dance, you know, and who has the power was it was some of the first scenes that we did, and it was so much fun.
And you know, singing makes you feel so good. And tell me about that first day though of rehearsal when you met at the Soho Hotel.
Oh, well, that wasn't rehearsal. That was me and Kristen sort of sussing. That was our sussing each other out dance.
Yeah. What's it going to be like making a film with this thing?
Yeah. This thing. But our first rehearsals were singing rehearsals. Yeah. So, and actually it felt like the scariest way to start, but it was actually, as it turns out, the best way to start, because everyone was feeling the same way as we were, which was, you know, anxious and nervous and not having a clue how this was going to sound. And then even at the end of our first rehearsal day, they got us, you know, working in the teams that we would eventually end up in,
Tenant, yeah,
all of that. Gotten it already. And then suddenly, you know, at the end of the first day, you end up sounding pretty good, and then we all sort of relaxed a little bit. And
because what is so great is that, so Sharon and I had the sort of the parts with the most to do, the roles with the most to do, and yet we were by far the least. Forgive me, Sharon. Right. We weren't the most accomplished as far as singing is concerned. So everybody was able to help each other. So it became rather like it was in the film. It was a great thing of everybody. It was a great leveler, a great sort of equalizer.
And in America, it's always, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? You practice. And you end up at the Royal Albert Hall. Tell me about that experience.
Well, it was all, we couldn't afford the Albert Hall. So it was there was a green screen. But really the day, it was one of the last days of shooting. And it was a real build up to that moment when we were going to sing this song that we genuinely loved singing, because the music is so lovely to sing. And it's a song that actually is incredibly moving to sing. It's not just the words that are moving, but it's also the tune itself. It's incredibly romantic, and it's, you know, it's a very I think we were all secretly really looking forward to that moment when we were going to sing the song.
No, we were. So even though we were having to pretend that we were in the Royal Albert Hall, there was the feeling was similar. There was like a build up and excitement, you know, to get to that point where we finally stood on stage and you know, belted it out to the best of our ability.
And we all it was a bit like the real thing, in that we'd all been wearing fairly ordinary costumes throughout the film. And then suddenly we all get given these evening dresses. Yeah. And so we're all like, all the girls like, what is it? Oh, I really like yours. Oh no. Yeah.
There was so much checking out each other's evening dresses.
Really fun. Yeah.
And I think what makes this movie more special, it's inspired by true events, is exactly what we need right now. Singing just lifts the soul. And thank you so much for talking to me today, because this is a true joy.
Thank you very much.
Jeffrey, you take care.